what I found out is that, your equipment really has to kind of help bridge the gap between being a basic player and being advanced, or even stepping up into the arena of advancing, going closer to being an advanced player. So if you're going to try and do well and your swing is a certain way, you have to have that equipment come to you a little. Has to adjust to you a little bit. Everybody, welcome to Pickleball Madness, episode number 3. This is actually a show where we talk about some of the paddles we got. We got a few paddles to demo, a Gearbox, a Pro Kennex, a couple other ones, a couple of no-namers. Tried those. And we have some ideas to what we're doing now. But tomorrow, on episode 4 of Pickleball Madness, you will hear some results about what we came up with. We tried it. Some we liked, some we didn't. And we'll tell you all about it. Check it out.
Pickleball Madness.
That's exactly what we're going to call it. So this is episode 3 of the series on pickleball. Series. We're doing a pickleball series. Yeah. So as we said in the last show, I got that basic paddle from Amazon, a little bit better than the one we had gotten for the $1.50, right? Which is the set for $3, as I had mentioned before. And I was really kind of debating as to to even buy that one, because I said if I blow the 50 on this inexpensive paddle, then I'm going to be not going to want to spend any more on that. I'm not going to want to spend another $1. So I don't know about you guys, but when you go and you venture into something like this, I would like to stick my big toe in there and just kind of get a flavor. Am I going to is this going to work for me? Do I care about this that much? Do I want to go whole hog like I've done in the past and make that mistake of buying the super most expensive everything, the paddles, the shoes, the ball, everything, all that jazz? Or do I want to just stick my toe in, get a little taste, decide, okay, is this going to go farther or is this going to stop? Or am I happy with just being normal, But, when I do anything, I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's, riding motorcycles, riding bikes, driving a car. I kind of want to maximize the pleasure, whatever the pleasure is. I mean, if it's the pleasure of driving, I want to, have the tires are good and the brakes are good and the engine runs right. Or, for making a meal, I want to make it the best possible, fried chicken I can make. So anyways, that said, this venture into pickleball has just been weird, because what I've noticed is it's such a new sport, right? And everybody that's trying to make a paddle or a product or balls or bags or shoes for pickleball, because, they're making out like it's so different from tennis or paddle tennis or now padel or whatever racket sport
Ping pong, rifle ball.
Yeah, well, I mean, in tennis shoes are different. Tennis shoes, like actual tennis shoes, they're different from ping pong, I imagine.
From ping pong, yes. But from pickleball?
Right.
No.
But see, there are companies out there that they're selling pickleball shoes as if that's any different than a tennis shoe.
But let's be honest, if you're playing on the same exact court like we are, there's
absolutely
zero.
Zero. Should be zero difference. But who knows? Maybe they're going to tell you there is.
I don't care.
So we bought these paddles, these inexpensive paddles, and we tried them. I tried them a few times. I wasn't but they tend to sell more tennis brands, right?
Right. Traditional.
Like Wilson or
Head,
Yonex, all those jazz. And then so when I went to Ray's Tennis, because that's where I buy my racket sport equipment, right? Shoes, balls, tennis rackets, whatever. I went down there and I said, I want to borrow by way of demo, right?
Demoing. That's why you went there, because they demo.
They demo tennis rackets and whatever. So I've been for years going down there. Whenever I wanted to get a new racket, I'd go down there and demo one, pay $5 a day, then have to drive back the next day. and return them, right? In order to just pay the $5. It was just an old model in my head. I'd never, ever considered that you could just buy them and return them, right? Because when I had bought that $55 paddle that one morning, the one you're now using, even though the original ones, I looked at Amazon and said the return policy is only good if you send back a completely unused product, right, to Amazon. So that's why I just pushed the button to buy a paddle. Okay, it's cheap, buy it, whatever. But in the back of my mind, I kept saying, well, I still want to spend more time to justify the cost of the $250 in the way of the gearbox. I wanted to spend a little more time with the paddle just to understand if I needed it, right? But the only way that I went to Tennis Warehouse and I started looking at paddles, and I come to find out they have when I went to go and see if they have demos, they don't have demos anymore. They used to, on tennis rackets, used to do the demo. You'd pay a certain amount of money. They'd send you the racket and you send it back. That's how it used to be. And I was so used to that process, I never considered anything else. So I went to Tennis Warehouse. I got online, saw the paddles. I was like, okay, maybe I can just, maybe I can demo. No, we don't demo. Okay, but we have a 30-day return policy. And I was like, oh, wait. No, at Tennis Warehouse, they said we don't have a return policy with those. If it's been used and it's not an original sellable condition, we do not return. Okay. Then I went into the bedroom with you and I was like, hey, you know what? I really want to do this. Blah, 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 blah. She goes, you know what? Why don't you look up a pickleball vendor, a pickleball store online? And I was like, I don't even know of any.
That's not, well, no, what I did is I went online and I just said, where can I demo?
That's what I'm trying to get at.
No, I said, where can I demo paddle tennis rackets? And that came up and I sent you that link specifically saying, here's our demo policy for a site called Total Pickleball.
Exactly. But what I was about to say to you, though, is that when I went in the bedroom and then you were like, oh, why didn't you just think of this? Because you always think of this. And I'm like,
always do these.
Yeah. But I went down the standard road, thinking I had to go to the store like Dick's or Big Five or Ray's and pay the money, demo it, and then bring it back because they don't do returns. And then oddly enough, here's the weird part. Having gone through Tennis Warehouse, I then realized I called the store. I called them online and I asked them a question. I said, I'd like to do this. And they were, we don't do this, but we have a 30-day return policy. So I then send you a link, right, saying I found that Tennis Warehouse has this 30-day return policy. Isn't this great? But when I looked at the link that I sent you, it was from Total Pickleball. So I asked them, I called when I had called Tennis Warehouse, I was confused. I said, you sent me this link to send my thing back after 30-day return policy. When you told me there was no return policy, I'm confused. And they were like, well, Tennis Warehouse and Pickleball Heaven, what is it called?
Pickleball.com.
TotalPickleball.com. They're the same company. I'm like, oh, okay. All right, well, you got me all messed up. I'm over here trying to tell my wife that they don't return, but then you send me a 30-day return policy, and I find out, okay, you're the same company. Great. So I said, okay, great. What would you get? Because I said, I've only had familiarity with this basic thing, the $50 carbon paddle, and I played one time with this super Gucci gearbox. The gearbox, what is it called? C14E. I think that's what it's called. And that thing is $250. And I was like, what are you thinking? So anyways, you and I are going back and forth on the previous show. This is dumb, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay. I get it. I mean, this is kind of dumb, right? So I called up and I just wanted to ask some questions. And I said, look, I'm interested in this paddle. Is there anything else that you would consider before I make this purchase and return, whatever? And the guy was nice enough to tell me, well, you know what? For what you're telling me, You have this kind of game that you like power. You like, you want to build and serve with spin, blah, blah. He says, you know what? That's a good paddle, what you're talking about, Gearbox C14. But the reason why it's so good is because it's one, if not the only paddle on the market right now that is solid core, right? And solid core to me sounds like instead of some kind of little, what they call that, honeycomb or composite middle, it's just carbon, solid carbon, right? So I'm like, okay, all right, let me just do that one. Let me do that one, and if it doesn't work out, I'll send it back. And I said, would you consider anything else in this category of paddle? Would you consider anything else? He says, yes, I would look at the Pro Connects. And they say, what do they say? Oh, he says, Pro Connects, right? It sounded to me like he was saying like 3 times, Pro Connect, right? So I'm like, Pro Connect? I'm like, I've never heard of this brand, Pro Connect. And then throughout the conversation at the end, I look at what he sent me, the receipt or whatever, and it said Pro Connects. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, yeah, well, I know Pro Connects because they make tennis rackets.
Mm-hmm. But they don't make particularly
popular
ones, right?
But they've always been around. I've always seen Pro Connects all long time. So I said, what would you order? He says, well, okay, if he says in a perfect world, I'd order both. I'm okay.
Because he's a baller.
Well, he says, order both and just send what you don't want back. I'm like, okay. I said, well, if that's how you have to do it. I mean, there's no...
Makes sense.
Well,
why waste time?
I said, well, okay, fine. Send them. So they came, I don't know, the next day or the day after.
2 days.
2 days. Mm-hmm. And I've yet to play them. We're going to play tonight. We're going to go and play with the people we play with tonight. And I'm going to get to try them out in all of their glory, right? But then, okay, so there's an additional story now, another development.
What's the development?
Well, I in buying this gearbox, I'm clicking around, and I see Pro Connects. No, sorry, check that. Gearbox has a new model, the newest of the new.
Okay.
That's above this C14E.
So it's basically saying, hey, suckers. It's
So
all we did was change the colors.
Possibly.
So pay $25 more for different colors.
Because this one here, like you said, it's $275. And it's funny. I watched a couple of YouTube videos to like comparisons and people trying all of these different things. And the guy goes, yeah, this paddle is the most expensive paddle on the market. Like the most expensive. And I'm like, come on. Look, I mean, I had to go through all this process. Okay, so anyways, if you're looking for paddles, okay, learn from my experience, okay? You buy something super basic, okay, and you play it, you either like it or you don't, just based upon, it doesn't make a difference in the brand. It's just either like it or you don't, okay? And then you play with another one that's supposedly got different materials, better this, better that. You try it. And you either like it or you don't. And then if you play with something that feels right, okay, everything you're hitting feels right. You have to decide at that moment whether you want to continue searching, driving to stores, asking this guy, asking that guy, try this racket, try that, or you're going to drive yourself crazy.
Or just start out at totalpickleball.com.
There you go. That's it. Start there. That's the answer.
Buy a few and return the ones that you don't.
Okay. That sounds crazy, but yes, that might be the way. Okay. Or you will drive from store to store, try this, buy that. Okay. And I'll be honest with you. I've seen people online. Okay. There's several people, and I don't know them, but on Facebook or OfferUp, I see several people who have these vast collections of paddles. They're not just, if they play pickleball and they love it, they're buying a bunch of them.
Because they had no choice. I used it, I got to pay
for
it.
They bought it, didn't like it, have to hold on to it. Right? And I'm like, okay, I don't want to be that guy either. I don't want to be that guy with 15. No, I don't want to be the guy with 15 $300 paddles.
Well, now you got 2.
Huh?
But now you're.
Well, but I've seen these people who are they're just, insatiable, I guess. They're just trying everything. I heard this one's good. Oh, I heard that one's good.
I like how you think that you're not one of these people. You're one of
No. I'm sending them back when they're done. I'm just when I'm done, when I figure it out, I'm going to send it back. But now I'm going, okay, should I now order the third one, the pro,
you see?
the pro one?
Stop being a sucker.
See, the problem is you don't know. You don't know. See,
oh Lord.
Look, if I'm going to spend $250, I might as well just go whole hog and spend the $275. If in fact it's worth it, I don't know.
It's not.
See, I don't know. Oh, okay. You might be right though. You might be right that if you go into this level, how much different is it going to be? Really?
Not. It's a color. Oh, we changed the color.
I don't know about that either.
Oh,
I don't know about that either. I don't know about that either. But at this level, I'm actually saying, okay, I'm just going to do this the once, so I might as well do it right, whatever it is. So I'm not sure what's going to happen yet, but
I am. He's going to end up buying multiple rackets.
No, please, no.
He'll end up buying the absolute most expensive one because
Look,
that's
as I said to you this morning. I am just going to get the one that feels the best. I don't care what it costs. Mm-hmm. I don't care if it's $10 or I don't care if it's $300. I'm just going to
wait
get
for the next what is it? The next installment of
Pickleball Madness. It could be. You could be right. Look, I just at this point haven't decided whether this is going to be a life's edition or it's going to just be something that I just let go in a couple months. I haven't decided, and based upon the back of how I played tonight and going forward. I don't know. I'm excited. I'm looking for a challenge.
Okay, wait. But so let's go back to the fact that you got this $55 paddle.
Yeah, and I didn't really care for it, by the way. It wasn't
But you played better, right?
Not really. I mean, marginally better. That was the problem. It was marginal. Okay, and the reason why I say it was better was this. I mean, marginally better was because when we played those couple of times, just one time you and me, and then one time with Eric, and then another time we played with people from what was it, Monday? Mm-hmm. Okay.
By the way, all three of those times you played for like 2 minutes. So
the last time we played with people was it Friday or Monday? I don't remember.
Monday night.
You sure?
Yeah, because that's the only time you're available, Monday nights. But the point is, you played with people, and we were there for an hour or so. But you let everybody try the racket, so you basically played one game.
That's not true.
Yes, it is.
It's not true. Okay. I mean, you can characterize that way. It's not true.
I saw it with my own two eyes. You let everybody try it.
Well, let's say like this. In the time that I played with those, look, I'm just weird. Okay, let's just get. We already knew this, but I have a certain feeling in my hand and a certain sound that. Look, I don't care if it's a tennis racket or a pickleball paddle or a ping pong paddle. There is a certain feeling that comes off the response and the sound of the ball hitting the paddle. When I hit the ball, okay, my forehand especially, I hit that ball and I hear the sound that I like. Okay, there is a sound when you hit the tennis ball and you hit it properly. Okay, like with the sound that you hit when you hit a baseball properly. You know what the sound is supposed to sound like. Boom. And it comes off the bat, or it comes off the strings of the racket, or it comes off the paddle. You know the sound that makes sense to you. Okay? It resonates in your skull. And when you feel it, like this is how I do it, okay?
I know
when I hit the ball off the paddle and I feel what I like, and then I get the result. The result, it goes where I want it to go. It goes a winner. I keep over and over and over, hit the shot, and it's a winner, or it does well, whatever the shot is. I just associate sound with the result. It just happens that way. The result, the feeling, it's all there. Boom. That's what a feeling is, right? You do something, it feels good to you, and then you get the result you like. It's just the way. That's how you do it. So, as I explained before, I said that one time when I played with that Gucci paddle, everything worked. Everything came together. Don't know why. Don't know if it's going to happen again tonight, but I'm going to try it. That's all.
It'll be fine. I mean, here's the thing too, like we discussed. I think your fitness level was pretty bad when you first started. Your fitness level
bad. It's not great right now.
Right, but it is better.
It's better.
So, where you were not playing so well with the other rackets, it also had to do with your mobility. Now you're moving more, so
I don't know.
Put the old one in your rack in your hand and let's see how those go too.
I'm gonna play all of them tonight. I'm gonna play your paddle. I'm gonna play the carbon one that you're now using. I'm gonna play these two paddles, which is the Pro Kennex. I think it's called the Ace. It's got a spade on it from Cards.
An Ace of Spades.
Yeah, I don't know what the name of it is. I have it somewhere here, but it's the. Look it up, would you?
Yep.
But it's the Pro Kennex. It's $249. It's well. Look, I don't really like the aesthetic of the paddle. Okay, I know. Does that matter? No, but
it matters to you.
It matters to me, and I don't care for the aesthetic. I also don't like the length of the handle.
Wait, is it a short handle?
It's a short handle.
Oh, well, then you're not going to like it. It's called
like
Black Ace.
Black Ace. Yep, Pro Kennex Black Ace. That's what I have. And here, what I do like though, it has a great case. Great case.
Wait,
except the case got a spade on it. It's stupid.
Yeah, I was going to say it looks goofy.
Why do they call it an ace? Because it's a spade. It's shaped like a spade, isn't it?
Yeah.
What does it have to do with aces?
I don't know. Maybe you'll get an ace when you serve.
Okay. But it's got a spade from Cards on it. Right in the sweet, that's a sweet spot. Looks like that's what they think the sweet spot is. I don't know how this, it doesn't feel right in my hand. It feels very head heavy. Okay. It feels like the grip is too short. And
because you don't like the shorter, those are a standard, right? Those were the standard one is the norm, that one. And then there's a extra long is what they call them.
Which is the length of the head and the handle. It's
both. I guess.
Well, this is what I was, again, in my research through Gearbox. I watched a video on Gearbox's webpage. They had this breakdown of their paddle, where they think it is head heavy, what is it, even, or headlight? There's 3 different phases, obviously, right? So where it's going to be heavier in the head and lighter on the handle, or it's going to be balanced in the middle, even, kind of, or it's going to be grip heavy. It's going to be a little heavier in the grip than it is the head. And then you're waving it around real fast. It's, whatever. I don't know.
So what are the 2 that you have?
As far as I know, I can tell right off the bat, because the grip is so short and the head is so big, so it feels head heavy. And
what about the Gearbox?
The Gearbox, they say that one is head heavy, bordering on even.
And is that what you feel?
That's what I feel. Okay. That's what I was saying. It feels well balanced. Like, it doesn't feel like the head is hanging down.
That's because the length of the handle is longer.
Sure.
So.
It just could be the way they could have weighted it that way. In which now I'm thinking about the video. They did say that they've designed it so that it's even, more even. Mm-hmm. And it does feel that way in your hand. Like the grip feels more like what I would say like a tennis racket. Okay. The length of you can say here all day long and say why, but I feel like when I hold a tennis racket, because you're always changing your grip, in the middle, whether you're hitting a forehand or backhand or whatever.
Yeah.
What I typically do is I kind of spin the racket in the direction I'm going. So if I'm coming for a backhand, I turn my body for my backhand. I flip the paddle or the racket to be ready for the backhand, and then vice versa. You go to the forehand, you kind of spin it as you're pulling it back. You kind of spin it in your hand to make it ready for the forehand. So in doing so, I'm kind of always flipping the racket around, and in between points, you're always kind of spinning it, positioning, getting it ready for wherever you think it's going to be. And when I had this Gearbox in my hand, it kind of felt like that. It kind of felt like a tennis racket, more common,
more what you're used to,
more what I'm used to. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and where the Ace, even now, as I'm just swinging it around, it feels a little head heavy,
unbalanced.
Yeah, and the grip feels. I don't know if I have a big hand. I wouldn't say the length of my palm or the width of my hand. People say they think I have big hands. The other day I was talking to somebody at work, and I was using this piece of equipment. It's got a little like an iPhone, and that's where you do the.
Your hand's too big.
Well, no. I was just poking at this, touchscreen, right? And it said whatever, cancel or whatever, or it says start or whatever. and I was pushing the button, and I kept having to redo it, keep pushing because it wasn't responding, and I didn't know if it was the latency of the software or it was. Well, I didn't know what it was happening, but I kept pushing this button and it wasn't. Then the guy my friend, he comes over and he pokes it and it works. And I said, why did this not respond for me? And he says, well, you got those big, he says those big
old paws.
Yeah. And I was like, come on, do you really think these I said, I can't palm a basketball. I don't have long fingers or long, big hands, but it was just the way he said, he was like, yeah, you got these, those big meaty fingers. And I was like, I don't even feel like that they're like that.
No, I don't think they're bad.
They're not slender by any stretch. I'm not playing piano with these things. I'm just saying they're not, I don't feel like they're.
But they're not fat.
They're not chubby. They're not sausage fingers. They're not long. I'm like, what do you?
Well,
anyway.
We'll see. We'll see if the the handle will feel right.
Yes.
In your hand.
Yes. And I'll know immediately. First couple of points, I'll know whether the balance is right for me or what I like about it. I'll recall what was going on. I did notice when we were playing with that $55 CRZZ. Is that what it was?
I don't know.
Whatever that one you're playing with now. I did like the leather grip on that one too, by the way. The leather grip, the rest of them don't have that. They have a regular over wrap or under wrap.
Why do you like a leather grip versus?
Well, you know what? I think leather was always used before, long ago. They were always started with a leather base. The wrap was leather.
Always wrap it.
You always wrap it. But as I had played that couple times with you, I did notice that the feel of it is always good. It always feels like skin. It's like it's dry. It wicks some of the moisture. It does get ruined fast because the oils and the sweat get in there, and then they kind of mess with the surface of the leather, and you end up wrapping it. Mm-hmm. But it being that it was brand new, it felt right. I don't know. Again, stupid, right?
You'll play with it today. With it today.
I'll play them all. I'm going to play them all and see what's going on. I'll know tonight a lot. I'll know a lot about what's going on with me. How much do I need a $250 or a $280 paddle to make my game better, or is it just
in your head? You do.
See, I mean, of course, all of this is in our heads. Everything we do, everything we say, everything we think is all in our heads. So yes, that's an accurate statement. But it's not as simple as the way you're making out. Like, well, you just believe it, so that's what it is. No. I mean, but I'm lying about that too. Is it in a sense? Yeah. I mean, everything you do or don't do is based upon your belief. Right? You believe that you can fly. Well, see, that's at least can you fly? If you believe it, does it make you fly? No.
No, but I think didn't you have this discussion with me or somebody about, the majority, maybe it was at Ray's, the majority, your technique and your physicality, your mobility, all that stuff is probably, 80% of this. And then the racket is going to take you the rest of the way. I was
going through this in my mind the other day. I was saying, you know what? Okay, let's just equate it to a car, right? You're a Formula One driver. We said this before. You're a Formula One driver. And if you get into any car, you probably have a good chance of beating just the average Joe. Right. But if you took a basic car and went to race an F1 race, you wouldn't have, eventually the limitations of the car will come into play. Mm-hmm. So, but here's the question. If you took an average Joe who just, drives a regular car and took him to F1 track with a Formula One car, put that precision piece of equipment in the hands of somebody who doesn't know how to use it, how will it come out? It wouldn't work at all.
No.
But put the basic equipment in the hands of a genius, of a professional driver, it will, they'll do good either way. But when you take the proper equipment and put it in the hands of a master,
skilled person,
then you get your game just goes up. Mm-hmm. Everything goes up. Then you become competitive with the best. So I'm not saying I'm the best, but I don't know. I know something about playing that night because the response was so great, right? It inspired me to say, well, I want to level up. I want to go and play a tournament to see where I'm at, and then we'll have something to work on.
Whoa.
You know what I mean? Like I was like, I want to go play with people who are like-minded, who want to up their level, and they want to play against good people. I want to do that. I don't want to just, not that going to play for fun isn't great. I'm enjoying myself tremendously. Good, if these people are good, bad, or otherwise, because I'm not really there to beat them. You know what I mean? I'm not there to like going tonight to like, I got to win. I want to win every point. That's not really my game. My game is to further the game, to learn, to do better, to enjoy myself, get the exercise.
Yeah, you can't even keep score. So
I don't see again. Some people like go places and they have to win. I have to beat everybody. I want to I'm out for blood. Me, I'm not there for that. I'm there to enjoy this, to enjoy the night out, meet these people, have a good competition, sweat, and then come home. You know, when when I start seeing results that are in line with people who are playing with us, it's like Damien, right? Like Damien is at a level. What is he in? His UTRs, whatever it is, and he goes and plays lower UTRs. He gets no satisfaction out of beating.
Yeah, it's frustrating for him.
He doesn't. If you're a 10 at UTR and you go play sixes all day and you whoop them, you don't get any pleasure out of it. Mm-hmm. You're like, this sucks.
You don't. Your UTR never goes up, and you don't. You're not getting better. You're not being challenged.
Yeah. Speaking of that, now that we're just having online, anybody who's in school right now, and you have a higher UTR, let's say you're at 8 or 9 or whatever, and you're going out there and you see a threat. Okay, you see another player who's coming up or who does well, but his numbers belie him. His score does not seem, he keeps winning, but you're going, well, you're lower than me, and I'm afraid that you might beat me, and so you bow out of a tournament or whatever, a competition, because you think, oh, I'm saving myself. You're fooling yourself. You need to go out there, and in order for you to be the best, you need to play the best. That's it.
Wait, no, but what you're saying just went against that.
I don't think
you're already at 8,
well, I'm just saying,
9.
Well, I'm just saying,
you don't want to play that 6 because
no, I totally get it. What I said, what I thought I said, maybe I didn't, is that there are players out there that my son is scheduled to play, and they have a higher UTR. Okay, if my son beats you, okay, then everybody questions your UTR because you're higher supposedly, and then you play somebody who's lower and they beat you. That's a bad deal. You do suffer that.
Right, but that hasn't happened.
Well, what's happened is that UTRs in the case of, just recently, he's been playing lower UTRs because those are the only ones that show up.
Right.
Right.
So if you're playing on a team, in his instance, we're talking about team, a high school team.
He's expecting to go and play these higher UTR people, and then they don't show.
Right. So they've had instances where the higher UTR person doesn't want to play because it's below them and they don't want to bother, or
they're scared,
or they, we don't know that, right? We don't know.
Well, then what's the difference? If you're such a, excuse my French, if you're such a badass, then come and prove it. Don't just stay home or say, oh, I have an injury or I'm sick. It's just happened too many times lately.
I know.
So it's like
but my son also says, hey mom, it sucks for me to have to play a 3 or a 4 UTR. And he goes, I would like to bow out too. But the fact for him, they don't have a lot of alternates.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So he has to play it.
So what I'm saying is that because of this, my son doesn't have the chance to advance, and really, you're only going to advance if you win. So what is your deal? If you have a higher UTR than my son, and you just opt to not show up, it's not like his UTR is so low that it's not worth showing up for. He's just below you, and you're afraid to come play. Don't do that. Don't be a wuss. Okay. And is that an illegal word today, wuss? Look, I'm gonna shame all these kids that are afraid to come out and compete. You're never going to win that way.
But it also could be like you said. It's not that they're afraid. It's that they feel like, oh well, I'm gonna beat him.
Bull crap. That's the story. You know what? Look, if you're a UTR 8 and my son's a 7, and you just don't want you come out and play, to me, you doubt yourself.
That one, I agree.
Come out and kick his ass.
Yeah,
do that.
I think he's probably about an 8, but he can't.
That's what I'm trying to get at.
Can't get it.
But that's the thing. You're the unknown. Yeah. You're this. You could beat me, so you're afraid.
Yeah, but he's got 9s and 10s that have bowed out.
Yeah. See, you're a wuss. If you're such a badass, you shouldn't have any problem coming and kicking his ass. That's my opinion.
I agree, but But here's the thing, which I don't know if I think you know this. if a 9 or a 10 plays a 7 or an 8, right? Or let's just say he's almost an 8.
Yeah.
And a 9 plays an 8.
Yeah.
And the 8 beats him. Well, the 9's score is no longer going to be a 9. It actually drops down.
See, that's I understand. Okay. But is that what you're gonna, is that what you're going to do with your whole career? If that's what you're going to do every time that you're faced with somebody with a threat, you're never going to get to the top. You're not, because you're never going to be there for when the opportunity comes. Look, if you're such a badass, then come show it. That's all. See, the best should play the best. That's all.
I know, but that's what I'm trying to say, though, is that they don't think they're playing the best if a person's UTR score is a lot lower than that.
It's not a lot. He's not a lot lower. He's a point lower.
But 1 point is a.
Oh, come on. Okay. All right. So then, I'm going to say, all of you goaltending punks who are out there protecting your little point, okay, because you're scared. Because you're scared to come out and face somebody who might beat you. Oh, you just want to. All you want to do is play the people you know you can beat. Wow. You're so brave.
No. They don't want to play the people they know they can beat. They want to. The way they're doing.
Oh, so they only want to play above. Well, that's my son wants that chance too.
Right, and that's where he.
Oh, so you're such a badass that you're going to run. Oh, to me that's weak-minded. That to me says that you're afraid, that you think you could be beat. That's
right.
why. But if you are as bad as you think you are, then you should come over here and kick his ass. Come kick his ass.
That's kind of that's why he
do it.
Do it. He doesn't have an option.
You're a badass. You're the best. You're the best. You want to be the best. So in order for, but if you can't look, Mike Tyson says something that he says, look, you know what? He says Floyd Mayweather thinks he's the best. He's the best there ever was. He thinks he's better than Muhammad Ali. That's what he said once. Mm-hmm. And Mike Tyson said he's not the best of anything. He says this little guy can't go out on the street by himself and walk his children to school. Okay, because nobody likes him.
You mean on a personal level?
Well, because Mike, the showing of a true champion is to be beloved and be the champion. You walk down the street, people love you. They revere you.
You command that respect.
You command the respect, but you also command the respect because of your record. Mm-hmm. Okay? You are a true champion, but then you are beloved. Okay? That is Muhammad Ali. That's the real champion. So Mike Tyson said, this guy, he's so great, but he can't even walk his kids to school on his own without a harem or a group of bodyguards to walk by.
Because what do people?
Because people, we don't revere him. They don't. They go, oh yeah, he's that guy that's he's a mean and he's tries to do everything underhanded. Look, this guy.
He's the one that also has domestic abuse.
I don't know about that. I don't want to get into that. But I'm just saying, I don't. Problems. He's always. That's the story. Yes, he always has some issue going on. Yeah. But he's also the guy that he's so bad that he needs bodyguards. If you're that bad, why do you need bodyguards?
I don't know.
You're that bad. You're the baddest.
But he's also small.
But you're the baddest man. Look, I speaking of small, okay. Speaking of small, a few years ago, there was a story about this guy. I don't remember his name now, but he was a MMA fighter from the UFC, and this guy is 5'8", okay. But he's like a badass in the UFC. Mm-hmm. He was in Austin at some kind of street thing. And there was this 6'3" football player out there making trouble on the street. Everyone's fighting. They're doing a fight or whatever. This guy's 6'3". He's part of the local college on the starting team, and he's over there beating people up, smacking girls, and doing all that stuff. This guy, this little 5'8" guy, goes over there and beats this guy up. This big hulking football player.
Why does he beat him up? In the ring?
No, on the street.
Why?
Because I just said why. The guy was beating people up. He was pushing everybody around. Everyone's drunk. He smacked some lady. Oh, okay. He's right there on the street. This little 5' guy, 5'8", runs up on this guy, and they starts fighting, and this guy knocks him down. Okay? Size. It's not what they say. It's not the size of the dog. It's the size of the fight of the dog. It's not that. Wait. What is that? What is that saying?
I don't know.
It's not.
But I know what you mean.
It's not the size of the dog. It's the. Forget it. Stupid. What is that scene? It's not the size. It's not the size of the dog. It's the size of the fight in the dog. I don't know. People are laughing right now. Okay. If they listen to the show, look it up.
It's not the size of the dog in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the dog. You had it right the very first time.
See, I haven't doubted my own self. Stupid. But, the thing about it is that I believe it's the heart.
Yeah.
You know.
I agree. Well, it's also, you have some skills, what the basic skills, and then you believe in yourself and you have that heart. Yeah.
Yeah. And, and I don't believe when I see UFC fighters fighting and those guys that stand there and they're so proud of themselves for getting, brain damage. They're just like, I'm so tough. I'm going to let somebody beat me up and then I'm going to come back and try and win. I'm like.
But that's kind of why I hated Mayweather also. Is one of those fighters that all he does is run.
He's a runner.
He doesn't actually stand and box with you. And that's, you're a champion for being able to run. Okay.
I mean,
people will think, that's a skill. That's a skill. He's able to move out of the way and be fast.
He is the best defensive fighter there's ever been.
But how many knockdowns has he?
He doesn't. He doesn't have that.
Never had any.
Well, no, he has. Apparently when he early on his career, when he was called Pretty Boy Floyd, that was the first part of his career. He had some knockouts or had a knockout or two.
Okay.
But he has hand problems. Okay. He breaks his hand in every other fight or something.
But he doesn't hit. So how does he?
No. But when he does hit, the pre-broken hand re-breaks, I guess. He has weak bones in his hand. So that's why he became a defensive fighter. Allegedly. Okay. So anyways, what I'm saying is that if you're playing a game, I don't care what game it is, if you're not going out there and trying to win, no matter who you're playing with, okay? Not gonna be wrong. If you're a top-notch pickleball player and you're playing somebody who just started yesterday, okay, I get it. It's not fun. You're not going to be able to, enjoy it the way you normally do. But if you're whatever ranking, I don't even know what rankings there are for pickleball. I'm sure it's similar to tens, nines, whatever.
No clue.
But if you're a 9, so to speak, and you're playing an 8 and you're afraid, come on, don't be afraid. Where's the glory in you running from somebody who you're afraid of? Go play. Prove it. Prove that you are the champion.
Yeah.
That's how you get the respect. That's how you get the love.
Absolutely. And I've asked my son, it's like, okay, well, you don't want to play these people, but remember the people that don't want to play you're giving them the opportunity to get better and get some games off of you. And if they get games off of you, their UTR goes up. Yours might go down a touch, but you know what? It's, that's the way it should be. And so he looks at it that way. He's like, yeah, I know. Yeah. He goes, I know.
Look, if you want the chance from the top players, you have to give the chance to the players that are beneath you. And that's just the way it goes.
And he does it. And he's had some days where, if you're off, let's say he's having a bad day, and he'll lose some games to somebody that's below him, and he doesn't like it because it's not helping his share. But it is what it is. You're not going to be perfect every single day.
But if you're not going to play those players that you don't want to play, how will you expect the players above you to want to play you? Yeah. That's all. It's just fair. But but see, again,
sportsmanship, but maybe some of these people don't have it.
But is the world fair? No, the world's not fair. But I believe in being fair. I believe in going out there and challenging yourself, and that's what I want to do. I'm always looking for a challenge. Whatever I like to do it. Hard and heavy. Try and make the best shots. Learn. That's my life. That's the whole thing. This thing I'm doing right here. I want to be good at this. I want to be the best I can be at this, Right.
Well, tonight you're going to play me singles, and we're going to see how much better this.
We're going to see. And if it's bogus and it's not worth it, then it'll go back. It won't. Nothing will happen. I'm not looking to just buy a piece of equipment and expect it to solve all my problems, but I want equipment that lives up to my game. If there's, I just got to say this. When I picked that paddle up that first time, I just felt like it responded the way I wanted it to respond. That's anything, whether it be a car, whether it be bicycle, motorcycle, whatever sensation that you want to achieve. When you do something, you achieve that sensation. you're like, okay, that's what I wanted out of it. And that's what I want. I want to go play. I want to hit competent shots. I want to know that when I set up, I hit this way, it sets up for this way. When I try and attempt that shot, more often than not, it does what I want. Is it going to happen every time? Am I going to hit perfect shots every game? No. But I want a shot at it.
Well, tonight you're going to get your chance.
We're going to get that chance. So
we're going to play singles.
We're going to play some singles, and then we'll play some doubles. And it's not going to take long. It's not going to take long for me to know this is either worth it or it isn't. Mm-hmm. Within this few games.
And don't let everybody and your mother try it, okay?
I'd like to know where's the downside to that?
Because then you're not trying it.
Oh, no. I don't. No. That's not going to happen like it did. The reason why I was letting people try it is because I knew that they had interest in it.
Oh, and FYI, somebody bought one.
I know. That's what Carol, is it Carol?
Yeah.
Yeah. Carol was saying, because Carol, when I got those 2 demos from Ray's, which was the 4X carbon head for 190, that's what got me going too. That's when I said, okay, she tried that one and was like, oh, I like this one better. But even though the one that was recommended, which I believe was the Yonex, okay, I didn't feel that paddle. It didn't feel good to me. It had a longer handle, felt a little better. The shape of it felt better, but the response wasn't any better. When I tried the all carbon head paddle, it felt a little better. So when I gave them I let Carol try both. I let whomever wanted to try both. And Carol was like, oh, I like this one, right? So when I got the $55 one, which was basically a knockoff version of the head racket, carbon, all carbon, raw carbon, I said, hey, you want to try this? She was like, oh, yeah, I'll try. So she played a couple games and was like, oh, I like this, right? So that's why I let her try it. And then other people wanted to try it. And I was like, yeah, go ahead, But, I mean, this one's going to be a little different, right? They're not technically my paddles yet. I'm not married to any of them. I don't want anybody dropping it or scratching it or, God forbid, something happens to it. And then what? How am I going to take it back now? Oh, it's got a chip on it. What happened? You bought it. You use it, you buy it. So tonight I will hit the paddles. I will know 100% whether it's all up at smoke and mirrors
or the $55 racket will do.
Or maybe not even that. Maybe I just buy another cheap paddle. If it's all about me, if it's all me, then that's what I'll just buy a cheap paddle and work around it.
That's what I'm saying. I think it's probably 80% you and 20%.
We're going to find out. Okay. Like I said, when I played the first one, I was really not feeling it at all. Like when we were playing those first paddles, we'd go play and even you'd say, come on. What are you doing? Like play.
But I think that was your mobility. It was like,
no. I won't even say that. I'm saying to you is that it's the feel. Like I'm going to repeat it again. It's the feel. And when I would hit that ball, I just felt very unconfident as to what I was doing. I didn't like it. I didn't like the sensation. I was like, this doesn't feel right. But you know what? If it doesn't feel right, why am I trying so hard? What are you all worried about? You're not trying to win the championship. You're just fooling around. Well, I played that one paddle, that gearbox, and immediately the results were dramatic. So I was like, okay, if I could do this regularly, then maybe there's hope for the game for me, right? So tomorrow we'll do another show, and we will give the results. We will give the results of whether I believe it's worth the extra bucks or it's all smoke and mirrors. We'll know tomorrow.
Okie doke.
So, look, thanks for listening to, what would you call it? Pickleball Mania? What did you call it a minute ago?
What? Pickleball Madness?
Pickleball Madness, yeah. What was the first show called?
I don't know.
I said Fad or Fantastic.
Oh, okay.
That's what this show is. This paddle will be. Either tonight I walk away going, I can just play with anything. Or I'm going to say, I'm so glad I found this paddle.
Yeah, well, see, that's such a drastic change. I mean, no, you can't just play with anything. But is $250 necessary or is $55?
Well, this is, fine? I mean, maybe point out what I should have made. I hope I said on the second show. It's just a matter of anything in life, right? I mean, look, you go to looking for boots, okay? And you go down, you buy some Wolverines down at the Walmart, okay? And you put them on. But then you walk around a little bit, you see somebody wearing some Doc Martens, okay? And you try them on. You go, oh, wow, these are cushy, these look good, blah, blah. You buy them and you go, oh my God, I didn't know that there was that big of a difference. Why? I didn't know that Doc Marten would make a big difference.
Yeah.
Okay, so then now you're going, I want to buy Doc Martens for $150 instead of buying those $35 Wolverines.
Yeah.
So that's the same here.
Yeah.
When I found the paddle, the only reason I can consider buying such a thing was because
you tried it.
In that paddle, I know that it felt like something I wanted. I can go around. I'm proof positive that I can go around spinning my wheels, spending gas and time, looking on the internet, trying all these things in hopes that it's going to feel something like the known. But I know about that paddle, like that, what's it called? Gearbox. I know about it like I know the consistent quality of a Q-tip. You know what I mean? Like when you buy turkeys, okay, at Thanksgiving. And you buy that no-namer at the Ralph's, the Kroger brand, or do you buy the Butterball? Okay, do you buy the ham at the Costco, or do you buy the honey baked?
There you go. Yeah, honey baked all the way.
Okay, that's what we're doing here. The $250 is the honey baked, and the $39.90, $59.90, whatever it was, that's the Costco. Okay, and you only buy what you know. You know what you're going to get. You buy it. You buy Doc Martens, you have expectations, right? You put them on, they feel a certain way. You either like the sensation or you don't. But if you do, you keep on buying Doc Martens, right?
Yep.
That's what I'm going to find out tonight. I'm going to find out if these $250 Doc Martens are better than the Wolverines.
There you go.
That's it. We'll know and give you the results tomorrow. Okay. So thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed. We enjoyed. I enjoy babbling on as I do. You must know. You're like, God, this guy loves to talk. He must love the sound of his own voice. This guy. So thank you for listening. If you like what you hear, please subscribe and what is it? Like. No. Subscribe and follow. Subscribe and follow. We really appreciate it. We need your help. We're trying to grow this and go further with it. So we hope you enjoy listening. Take care.